Let's take a look. We got a poll question to put in here. What is your favorite thing about this Vols team? And that has shifted. It started, people are already online playing it. Your options are Rick Barnes, which is now in the lead, 48%. Rick Barnes, Zakai Ziegler, which was in the lead earlier. Defense, that's way behind. And the team's character, it's Moxie. The cut of its jib, that's way behind too. So Barnes leading Ziegler. What is your favorite thing about this team? Brought to you by Hearthside Bank. Go ahead, take your smartphone, click that QR code, and play along with us. Tell us what you think. We love playing the polls and figuring out what our viewers are thinking. All right. Take a look at this next graphic here. These are the top 8 seeds according to Bracket Matrix. Okay, Auburn, Duke, Florida, Alabama, and then Houston, as I mentioned in that last segment, Tennessee, Wisconsin, and Texas A&M. The top 6 teams all won yesterday. You see, at means away. Home doesn't have anything. But the reason you got a color-coded thing there, those are teams that are in the Ken Pomeroy top 25. So you can see those are the teams that would give you probably a little bit more of a bounce with the committee. Those are the teams that could be tougher. Auburn plays 4 of those teams. They got a tough stretch down the road. Tougher than anybody. The easiest, Duke. All right, they don't play anybody top 25 the rest of the way. So I think when you're looking at that and what we're doing here, I think we can all pencil Duke in as a number 1 seed, correct?
Correct.
And I think with Auburn's body of work, unless they go in an absolute tanking position here at the end, and I don't anticipate that, we can probably pencil them as a 1 seed too. Everybody agreed?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Florida, I'm not there yet. If they tank, we'll see. Alabama and Tennessee, I think they're the exact same team. I think it's going to come down to how they do against each other.
Who wins, yeah.
Yeah. Then you got Houston in there. But when you're looking at that list and you're looking at who Tennessee's having to compete with, I think Auburn and Duke, there's 2 number 1 seeds left, and I think it's Florida, Alabama, Houston, and Tennessee. I don't think Wisconsin and A&M can jump it.
No.
So, I mean, you got a 50-50 chance.
You do. I think Florida's probably pretty locked in there unless they lose both A&M and Alabama and also lose early in the tournament. But I think Alabama, Houston, Tennessee are jockeying for one.
So you think it's 1 of 3?
I think it's 1 of 3 for 1 spot, 3 teams for 1 spot right now, and I think the winner of Tennessee, Alabama has the best shot to get it.
For some reason in my head, I just don't put Florida up there as good as Duke and Auburn, but their record certainly shows it.
Can I go with a little bit of, hey, trivia, hey, little history?
No.
Florida earlier this year became only the 5th team in college hoops history to own a number 1 victory at home and own a number 1 victory on the road. 3 of those previous 4 teams who did it, would later go on to be number 1 overall seeds. I'm not saying that that's the criteria,
that's excellent.
but that's a little bit of a path of future past.
Then let's go ahead and put the top 3 in there as 1 seed. So that leaves us with Alabama, Houston, and Tennessee. Let's just put them all kind of tied right now because I think they all are right neck and neck with each other.
I'll go with that.
Who's got the easiest path?
I'll say
Tennessee does.
I think it's the Vols. Yeah.
Tennessee
it's the
does.
Vols.
Now, we're just talking about through the regular season. We're not talking about tournament.
And you know the reason why? Because I think their biggest matchup still remaining, they get at the friendly confines
get
with
it
Bama
home.
coming here.
Yeah.
LSU and South Carolina are garbage, and then Mississippi is up and down. Houston, Texas Tech's a good team. Kansas, they still have talent. Baylor still has talent, whether they're playing up to it right now.
Agree.
I do believe the committee's going to want to put another team besides, and not 3 SEC teams as 1 seeds if they have the opportunity. So I think Houston's going to have to lose this to not be a 1 seed at the end of the day.
Well, they've got Duke. You've got Duke already in there.
You
so
do.
that would take care of that.
I just don't know that they want 3 SEC teams as 1 seed.
Oh, 3. Okay, I thought you were saying 4.
But I think if you do 2 SEC, ACC, Big 12, I think the committee, if they get the opportunity, will do that.
I could see them doing 3.
So this is how it comes down to me. I think you're right about the Bama-Tennessee matchup. Winner of that game coming up, they end up getting the lead. I think eventually, though, Houston's going to run through the Big 12 and get that auto bid and become the 1 seed anyway. When it's all said and done, give me Auburn, give me Duke, give me Florida, give me Houston as the 1 seeds.
Mark, you're being quiet and you're the most knowledgeable man.
I think that this is going to be an interesting look to see how much they value the SEC tournament because you're going to have a lot of teams like you see here in the SEC that are playing. And if they get out in the first round like Tennessee did last year to Mississippi State, regardless of what we do here, does that affect it? If Florida goes and loses to Auburn in the SEC championship, or even let's just say A&M or Alabama. Let's say Alabama loses to Auburn in the SEC championship game. Even if Tennessee wins out, the SEC tournament could matter. When in years I think we've all talked about the decisions are already made with the bracket for the most part once teams get to the SEC tournament and the Big Ten tournament. So
I haven't looked. If the
point.
SEC was talking about moving the championship game from Sunday to Saturday, it's still on Sunday right now, isn't it? For this
Correct.
year?
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah. So if you've
The
got
Big
two
12
teams,
is the only Power 5 that plays a day early on
yeah,
Saturday.
and the SEC definitely needs to because basically they'll just
100%.
leave it there. If you win or you lose, it's already set because they don't want to move it and move all these other lines.
Yeah.
It's basically two teams. You get this slot if you lose. You get this slot if you win, and we don't care from there.
That's what it feels like. It feels like
Yes.
Friday.
Well, that is what
the committee leaves the house and they go, "We guys good? Okay, this is what happens when we don't get any upsets. Here's what happens when we get a lot of upsets.
think-
These are the two we submit."
Yeah, I
But there are
just think
times-
it's Saturday night they said it, and they don't have time to go back and
I hear you.
remove a ton of stuff on
Yeah,
Sunday
I agree.
afternoon.
They're
So
not
I think
moving
it's
4 lines on the S curve just
Right.
because of one outcome.
The other
yeah. So
piece
it's
that-
easier just to say if you win, you get this seed. If you lose, you get that seed, and vice versa. Now the trick is where that's going to be difficult. If it's Tennessee and Alabama in that last game, who cares? That makes sense. Okay.
Yes, sure.
If it's Tennessee versus some upset team that's some Cinderella, okay, that's where it runs
Right.
into trouble.
The other
But-
thing that the SEC bias or lack of bias, right? Because there's going to be people around the country that say, all right, do we let 3 SEC teams be number ones or Houston? And if Houston takes number 1 or 2 in the SEC, can you actually put, and you made the point a couple weeks ago, can you put the 4th place SEC team as a 1 seed, right?
Yeah.
4th place in the SEC conference as a 1 seed over Houston, who wins their conference?
Yeah.
Maybe they lose in the conference tournament, so they don't get the automatic bid.
Right.
But that'll be a decision that the committee has to make. You only finish 4th in your league. Houston wins you. How can we put you as the number 1 seed over a team? At
Well, you just listen to Jay Billis, who says there's never been a conference in any sport on any planet in any universe. You know, even in the multiverse, we've never seen a conference like the
I'm
SEC.
not one to be prisoner of the moment, but this is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
It's unbelievable.